the WWE Superstar Roman Reigns, the WWE Superstar of the Year.
You're listening to the official Wrestling News Source podcast. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com or check us out on Facebook by searching WrestlingNewsSource.com or WNS Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Twitter, Stitcher, and iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast or WNS Podcast. Now being broadcast in over 45 different countries, here are your hosts, Daniel Herron, Tyler Abear, and Doug.
That's right. What's up, everyone? I am Daniel Herron.
I'm Tyler Abear.
I'm Doug. And we welcome you to episode 227 of the official podcast for WrestlingNewsSource.com. For all of your information, go to WrestlingNewsSource.com. Check us out on Facebook, WrestlingNewsSource.com. You can find us on Facebook, WNS Podcast, on YouTube, WNSvideo, and on iTunes, Wrestling News Source Podcast.
We're also on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
You can follow the podcast on Twitter at WNS Podcast. You can follow Daniel at WNS. What are you doing over there? WNS.
Birds.
At WNS_Daniel.
Bird.
Tyler's at Tyler_Aber.
And we just surpassed the 1 year anniversary of Tyler's last tweet. Not up to 1 million followers yet, but we're still hopeful. I believe you're up to...
I don't even remember the password to get into Twitter.
Well, you know, they'll send it to you, or they'll let you reset it if you want.
He's got his whole fucking life to get there.
You got plenty of time.
Oh, yeah?
I mean, how's the past year been without Twitter?
Good.
Really?
Twitter's confusing.
What's confusing about it?
I don't like it. Get away from me.
Well, that's...
Get with the times, Abear. Get to tweeting. Jesus.
You're at 42 followers right now.
The newest social media?
Periscope.
Is this something made up? Or is
No, it's real.
Oh.
What's
It's like
Periscope?
like I could be like live streaming a video of us talking right now if it's tied in with your
Everybody
Twitter.
get Periscope now.
All right,
check
well,
out Periscope.
We'll have to look into that. Have something like that. That would be quite interesting. I know a lot of people.
What was
I don't know how large or how long you can go. But,
What was the thing that we did? We had a profile. We stopped it. It was WWE's
Tout.
Yeah.
That profile is still there.
Tout.
If you ever want to go and look at it.
Then there was Vine. Vine's better than Tout.
Yeah. Whatever happened to you becoming a Vine star?
Because I don't have an iPhone. All the edits of videos and everything, they don't have it for the Galaxy and stuff. So I know. I don't want to switch to it. I should.
All right.
No.
Well, let's dive on into the show. We are going to talk about some feedback that we got from Bazooka Majin saying, "Great show, guys. Also, I don't see anything bad with Blake and Murphy from NXT. When they get the mic, they do pretty well. Nothing special, but it works. They kind of remind me of the Edgeheads, Zack Ryder and Kurt Hawkins, when they were tag champs for a while on SmackDown." And that's an interesting point, but that's also the point that I'm making. Exactly what you said. It's nothing special. And look where Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder are right now. So what I don't know. It's just not. I'm not buying. I
don't know. Kurt Hawkins was on Art of Wrestling again for the second time this week, so that's somewhere. Not currently under contract with WWE, but
yeah,
he's doing stuff on the Indies.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Zack Ryder's losing.
Yep. I'm just not getting into Blake and Murphy. I'm sorry.
Which one do you like better?
I don't share the hate that...
the chick.
Blake Murphy. Who do you like better?
Alexa Bliss.
You like Blake?
Alexa Bliss.
Or Murphy?
How do you feel about Murphy specifically?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know which one is which, so...
Well, they have their names on their tights.
I don't pay attention that much.
Blake Murphy or Mojo Rawley?
Mojo Rawley. Hands down.
Okay.
Get hyped. So, what? Absolutely. So, we're going to have a lot to talk about this week. We're going to talk about Elimination Chamber. We're talk about Raw. Talk about...
Hey, we should maybe talk about the status of the show before we
Status of the show.
Before we get down into business. There's not going to be a podcast next week, right?
That is correct. Next week,
that's correct.
For those of you who are listening, who are the diehard listeners still out there, there will not be a show next week.
All two of you.
Yeah.
No show next week.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Doug and I will be going on vacation. Not together.
Oh,
not together.
Whoa.
Okay.
It's nobody's fucking business what I'm doing.
Okay.
I'm going on hiatus for a while. I'll be back, I think, the first week of July. Other than that, ain't nobody's fucking business what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going out of state, going on hiatus.
There are no shows next week. There is not a show next week, and then I'm going to be gone for a while after that.
Yeah.
I'm just being a dick. I don't really care, but I mean.
Well, I just don't want people thinking, oh, God, he's going to be leaving the show.
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know.
You're just taking, oh?
I don't know. I mean, like, have you guys talked to Ryan? Is he going to be like, here while I'm gone? What if, like, everyone.
I thought that was your job.
Oh, no. What if, like, what if everyone, like, really likes Ryan, and then I come back, and then they're like, hey, dude, sorry. People want Ryan. And I'm like, okay.
Nah, we won't do that to you.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm just going to be gone for a bit, and I'll be back.
Okay.
I think the first week of July, the first show of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Cool.
I'll be gone for a while.
Really cool stuff.
Nothing at all next week.
Yeah, nothing next week. So for those of you who have nothing to do and normally listen to the podcast, sorry, might have to find something to do just for that 1 week.
Yeah.
So it'll be all right. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll do a video on our YouTube page or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what's going on.
I ain't doing shit.
He's not doing anything. So maybe whenever I come back, Tyler and I can put up a video of our Money in the Bank predictions or something.
Here
comes the money. Money talks. Elimination Chamber. It took place this past Sunday on the WWE Network. Really cool, really enjoyable. Had some good matches on there. The first match was a kickoff match with Stardust defeating Zack Ryder. Nothing really to take away from the matchup. It was just a quick, something to get the crowd going. Broski boot, which leads to in the end of the matchup.
Did they tease any? I missed it on the drive over to your house. Did they tease any of the Steven
they talked
Amel
about
stuff?
Because that came in towards the end of that match, but they talked about it. The panel.
Supposedly that dude's a big wrestling fan.
Yeah, and it's being rumored that he wants to face Stardust at SummerSlam. He was on his Twitter saying, looks like I have to learn some wrestling moves or wrestling holds or something like that. I don't know how I'd feel about that, but if it gets an extra crowd,
it'll get Noah
in. Yeah, it'll definitely get Noah. Our buddy Noah, he'll tune in and watch it.
Yeah, I think that's rare though. I think we just happen to know the exact target demographic of that. I think that's a rarity though. I don't think that's gonna, get a lot more network subscriptions or anything. I mean, I don't have any hopes for it as like artistically being a good match or anything. I don't know what. I mean, obviously he seems like a guy who's in shape and stuff, but I mean,
I'm not.
There's a lot more like to it than that. So I mean, as far as people who've done matches who probably shouldn't be doing matches, I mean, he's far from probably the worst that they could do or have done. But, that doesn't necessarily make it a good idea.
Yeah, but I don't know. We'll have to see how the storyline progresses, if he's going to have someone in his corner backing him. Or
you know what they're thinking. It's like, oh, no, this is, he's part of a hit TV show, and he's a fan of us. Let's get something going.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't mind it from that perspective. I think it's a smart crossover. I think that's an audience that you want to try to tap into. So I don't think it's a bad idea to try to cross-promote with them. I think it's a good idea. I just don't know that the cross-promotion has to lead to them having a match.
Yeah. And like I said, is someone going to be in this guy's corner or, because I feel like if they're going to bring him in to do a match, he's not going to lose. But yeah, I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's always sort of weird to see them job their own guys out. Like guest stars,
publicity stunts, and all that.
But I don't know. I'm not really looking forward to it if they do something or whatever. I'm like any interaction with any star. I'm like most of the time I'm like meh. But
if things got heated between him, like and Stardust, like in the crowd, and then it carried over to like social media, and then he cornered another wrestler, I would be fine with that. I don't know about him getting in the ring though.
Right, or at least let him be the corner man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like him seconding, someone who's already on the roster. Yeah. I'm fine with that, but I don't know about him having a match.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how that plays out. But
you've got good wrestlers on the roster who aren't actually going to be having matches.
Yeah, at SummerSlam, but we'll have to see how it all plays out.
Backseat to that.
Yep, that's right. So after that, we got to see more kickoff action. Miz TV with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan coming out, promoting his book and letting the fans know that he will be back. So he does intend to return to wrestling.
I knew this part was going to happen, but I always liked to. Miz always brought up the fact, I was your pro, and
I was your NXT trainer.
Yeah, and all that
I
stuff.
brought you up from nothing.
Do you guys get the impression that Brian coming out to say he's going to be back is him declaring that, or him clearing the air, because he sort of left it in a weird way when he had his announcement on Raw? Was he clearing the air that he's not actually done, that he will be back? Or do you think this is him like wishful thinking, like he doesn't want to give it up? Like, do you think it's more wishful of a thinking. I will be back, or a I want to be back? You know what I mean?
I want to be back.
Well, the thing about it was that he never said in what form he's going to be back. And there were talks.
Yeah, but we know they're gonna do stuff with like Tough Enough, and they'll probably, if he's not gonna wrestle, they'll find a role for him. We know that.
Right.
But
that's what I'm referring to, is like he's saying I will be back. Well, does that mean we're gonna see you in action, or are you gonna do something different?
Yeah, I mean, you know him as a guy, though. You know he means wrestling. So I mean, I wonder if it's him trying to convince the crowd, or him trying to convince himself, or what. I worry about him like coming back if he's just not gonna.
Yeah, if you're not gonna heal up 100% to where you're feeling better, then take more time off.
It might be. I mean, a lot of people seem to think it might be the end of the road for him. I mean, and there's not. And if you think about it, there's not a lot of sense to him coming back, them switching the direction of all the angles and stuff, just for him to have to go back out again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he better be like real sure that he's like okay to go.
Yeah.
Like, if they're telling him like
they'll have him actually win the Royal Rumble this time around or something.
Well, I mean, it's more than that. It's if he gets cleared and it's his decision, and he's like, yes, I'm ready to come back, and they bring him back, and then he goes out hurt again in like a couple of months. Then they had to rebook everything that wasn't supposed to include him, and then they inserted him, and they had to take him back out. So it's like shuffling all the angles, a bunch for, who knows.
Yeah.
So,
everything that we've been working towards now has to be reconfigured to put him back in.
And I like the guy, but maybe it's it's weird to think that he could be causing more of a problem by trying to come back than not.
I hope he's able to heal up, come back, and they find something good for him and gets back in that title picture hunt. I don't know. I'm such a big fan of him. I'd like to see him compete some more. Although there's not really a whole lot that he has to prove anymore. I mean, he's done everything that a wrestler sets out to do. Main event at WrestleMania, winning the titles at WrestleMania, becoming the Triple Crown champion and all that. Pretty good career. So, just like to see a little bit more. Maybe I'm greedy. So,
no, I mean, I think that I just hope that he's like careful for his own sake.
Yeah.
And also, like
your health is more important.
Yeah.
So, but let's dive on into the Elimination Chamber results. The main card, that is the first.
I just want to say I thought Miz looked awesome in that ridiculous thing he was wearing, and
it's the same.
Loved it.
It looked like the thing that he normally wears, but they've taken the sleeves off.
It looks like something like Kanye would wear, and that's sort of why I loved it.
God.
And then now we know there's still going to be. It seems like I guess there's something still between Miz and Sandow.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, unless that was just something for that.
I think that was a Brian can't get physically involved thing, and they wanted to clear the ring or whatever. So.
Yeah, it was a good way to do it. So, but yeah, let's dive on in to the first matchup for Elimination Chamber, which was an Elimination Chamber match, the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match, which they announced during the kickoff show. Kane announced that New Day was going to be in full force in the chamber, in the pods.
And I like that.
Yeah.
But they're too big.
They are too big. They're too big for that thing.
They fit.
They managed to squeeze in there. But, yeah, let's talk about this match. It was New Day, Los Matadors.
They did look in defense of them, they did look uncomfortable because they were so big.
Yeah, I don't know if I could be squeezed next to y'all guys for that long. It'd be pretty uncomfortable.
This was highly enjoyable for the first time. Tag teams being in this match. This was really cool. Also, Los Matadors, when they came out, El Torito was on top.
Yeah, what was up with that? I guess he's just considered part of the group, so he gets to be in there as well.
But Natty wasn't in there.
Natty wasn't.
Nope.
But El Torito was.
Bull.
So the matchup itself was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They had some good spots. I was questioning what was going on with Kalisto. I mean, I understand he got stuck at the top, but it seemed like they were waiting for him to do a spot, and it never happened, and so he tripped again, and then the Ascension, instead of focusing on Sin Cara, went up and took him down, and there just seemed to be some confusion there.
Then he climbed up to the top, waiting for people to get their attention,
Yeah.
and he felt that,
Yeah, I mean, that was a fun spot because we've never seen that done before.
Yeah, and plus he needed to get their attention unless he's going to fall on them. Surprise.
Like, hey, don't forget me that I'm up here. But, yeah, I mean, it was a fun match. I found it a bit shocking that the Primetime Players eliminated Cesaro and Tyson Kidd.
I enjoyed that. I like that a lot. It just kind of feels to me like after New Day gets done with Cesaro and Kidd, I think Primetime Players are going to step up.
Yeah.
And I want them to be the next tag team champions after New Day.
And it looks like they're starting to get that build, which is really good. And they got plenty of time to show off a bit. So it was, Primetime Players against the New Day for probably about 5 or 6 minutes. And the whole time I was watching this matchup, I was getting more and more impressed with Titus O'Neil's work in the chamber, because I was like, he is being vicious in this.
He's
chamber.
came a long way since NXT, huh?
Yeah, definitely. Doug, what were your thoughts on the matchup?
I thought it was kind of a wreck, you guys.
Yeah.
It wasn't a boring wreck. It was sort of like a hold your attention wreck. Like maybe it's like I can't look away, but it was still sort of a wreck to me. I question a lot of the booking decisions. I'm totally cool. I like Primetime Players. I'm totally cool with them sort of moving up to feud with New Day. I'm fine with that, but I question the logic that they sort of went about with sort of, if you want the crowd to get behind the Primetime Players, that's the babyface team that you want them to sort of rally behind. I think that having them eliminate the already most over team in the whole match is a poor choice of laying out of match layout. I think that's a poor choice, and I don't know why the Ascension needed to look so dominant. I think that if you're interested in doing something with the Ascension as heels, and you're interested in doing something with the Primetime Players as the new baby faces, sort of usurping Cesaro and Kidd for the time being as the new feud for the tag champs, I think that it would make a lot more sense in the structure of the match if the Ascension were to eliminate Kidd and Cesaro, who to play off of heat because Cesaro and Kidd are the most over team in the match, and then you have Primetime Players get that babyface heat after eliminating them because they would naturally fall in as the next popular team. So I think that the structure was a bad decision, and I thought there was a lot of miscommunication and a lot of just sort of train wreck spots. But it was sort of entertaining, so I'm not going to hold it against them too much. I don't like the booking.
Not nearly as bad as the Intercontinental Championship match.
No.
But we'll dive on that in a little bit.
You have to try really hard to be that bad.
So yeah, but New Day ends up getting the victory after pinning the Primetime Players. And New Day retain their tag team championships. So cool stuff. So let's dive in to the next matchup. We got to see Nikki Bella going up against Naomi, going up against Paige for the Divas title, triple threat match. And I gotta tell you, this match was
bad,
very bad. Yes, that's exactly the word I was looking for. Timing was off, pacing was off. It almost looked like Paige got her neck broken. It was
that reverse Arana spot looked scary from the first camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
It looked slightly less dangerous from the second camera angle, but still pretty dangerous.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I look,
audience.
Triple threats are rarely very good anyway. So maybe there's a lot of maybe we can attribute some of the blame to the triple threats, but it was just pretty bad either way, no matter how you slice it.
Well, I don't know, the triple threat over at NXT between Charlotte, who was it? I'm blanking on her name now. She just fought Sasha Banks.
Becky Lynch.
And one other girl. I can't remember who.
This is the one that had also Bayley in it. Was it?
It might have. No, maybe.
Because wasn't the finish like the double pin with Charlotte had
had
her in the figure four, and then and then Becky Lynch pinned her, and I think it was Bayley was the other person in the match.
Yeah,
I might be wrong about that,
but it was for the number one contendership, and that match was pretty solid. So I mean, like, I guess it all comes down to who's competing, and this match.
I mean, there are guys on the main roster who have had really bad triple threat matches. I'm not saying it's impossible to have a good triple threat match. I mean, you just pointed to one that was pretty okay. But
when you're hearing Nikki Bella call out the spot and you hear your Paige say, "Oh yeah, I remember now," I mean that's a telling sign that things aren't exactly going well.
We've talked about for this whole pay-per-view that I guess the mics are better and stuff, so there people are picking out, calling the spots and stuff easier.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's for sure a thing. I'm saying it's possible that better technology it's like HD cameras. Like HD cameras, you look a little worse because they catch all the
pores,
the imperfections of your face or something, So I think it's possible that with better technology, better cameras, better mics, better lighting, better etc., that it's possible that if you're not more careful calling your spots, it's just going to be out there.
And also, they want the good sounds for the connections and.
Sure, I mean there are still people who do a good enough job of hiding calling their spots, and there are people who are well known for calling their spots. I mean, Cena's pretty notorious for calling his spots pretty loudly, but so I don't know. I'm not saying that's a for sure thing. I'm just saying that was a theory I was working on. Also, people could just get better at not calling their spots so loudly.
Yeah.
Kick me!
Yeah. So, the match itself, pretty poor. Not the best.
I mean, think about it, though. Think about it. Do you hear them calling spots on Ring of Honor? It's so much more lo-fi than that WWE production. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see Ring of Honor, I mean, that's possibly something they could work on in post-production. I don't think so. I mean, the lower the production values, the less amount of spots you hear called. I mean, that's why that's my theory. I'm just saying.
Yeah. So
highlights of the match.
Highlights of the match? Probably the shoes.
Shoes.
That's it. Yeah, because it's lit up.
Yeah.
Bear pun. So Nikki Bella ends up getting the victory and continuing her Divas title reign, still ongoing. Next matchup, we're going to talk about the match of the night. Undoubtedly, Kevin Owens versus John Cena. This was a excellent matchup. These guys threw everything they had against one another.
I bit and I bit and I bit like the whole time because in the back of my head, I was thinking what, like Doug was saying. It's like, oh, this could be like a no finish and all that.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no way he's going to go over Cena. Then my heart was like, he's gonna beat Cena. He's going to beat Cena. And then, oh, man, it's just like every single time I got, I'm like sitting on the edge of the seat, all this stuff. And I didn't get that with any of the other matches, you know? But I'm just.
You were entranced with the match. You were involved with it.
For sure. And it's just everything, just, near falls and all that stuff. And then that one time I was like, oh, no. I know Doug was like, he's not going to do it. He did like the setup for it looked like the package pile driver. He's like, no, Cena's, he's going to take that. But they did, something else.
Safe drop.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way he's taking a package pile driver. But, ultimately he won. And it's just where all three of our jaws just dropped down. It was like, really?
It was a great moment.
This just happened.
I've never been so happy to be wrong in a prediction pick. I
was right. I went with my heart, but usually when I go with my heart, it doesn't mean I'm gonna. It usually means I'm not winning. But
yeah, because I know I picked that this match was going to end in a no finish or Cena wins by disqualification. But sure enough, they gave Owens the rub. They put him over, and it's interesting because whenever we were watching this, we were talking about it how. Owens, no one has gotten this kind of treatment before when they come into the WWE. He made his debut on Raw against John Cena. His very first match on the main roster was in a pay-per-view, not on Raw, not on SmackDown.
Well, you can
go even further back to his NXT debut. It was high profile as well.
Yeah, his debut was solid. He made an impact the very first night that he was there by doing the powerbomb to Sami Zayn. He gets his his first championship match, like 2 months later or 3 months later, however late, wins the title. Then he debuts against John Cena. His first match is on a pay-per-view with John Cena, and not only that, he gets a victory on a pay-per-view match against John Cena for his debut. Like, nobody gets that kind of treatment. So they are definitely...
Well, also, you got to think, though, too, they're finally making a decision of, like, hey, we need some more people in the main event, scene eventually, and so it's good to do this.
So I'm guessing that they definitely see that it factor for him because they had him sign a full-time main roster contract. So he's going to be up with the big leagues. I guess you can call it the big leagues. I don't know. But he's going to be on the main roster going forward once they wrap up all the NXT stuff, his storylines. So I think it's crazy. The match itself was awesome because we got to see all the the high spots from Kevin Owens, and Cena was kicking out, and you could see the frustration on Owens, and then Owens was kicking out, and you could see the frustration on Cena. I mean, they were throwing everything that they had at each other.
And another thing that we talked about was usually when someone makes a debut on like the main roster in a match, the commentary they were just praising him the whole time, so it was good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was definitely really good. But Doug, what do you think of the matchup?
I mean, I thought it was a great match. I don't think you can take anything away from either one of these guys. I think it was a smartly worked, like stylistically, because I think this is the type of match that Owens needs to get over in front of a crowd that doesn't need him. I don't think this isn't like a stereotypical like WWE main event style they work. They sort of let Owens do a ton of his like big spots, basically everything except for the package pile driver and maybe like the front flip leg drop, which is he could do. There's no reason he can't do that. They probably don't want him doing the
and they wouldn't let him do I know that, what's it called, the choke,
sleeper suplex. Yeah, I mean, he didn't do that either, but he did mostly everything that makes him who he is. So it was smartly sort of worked from that, like from that point of view. I don't know that a crowd who doesn't know Kevin Owens would get as into him or buy into him as much if they don't let him work this style of a match on his debut. Mm-hmm. I think you can take it from here because he now has credibility to go wherever he needs to go, but he needed this to gain the credibility. And for them to invest in the match until he got credibility, he needed to have a good Cena performance. And there's only so much you can do with that, doing like a stereotypical like WWE brawl, but they sort of let him do all his crazy stuff and get all his stuff in, and that sort of worked. I do think there is a very good argument to be made, and I might even make the argument myself, and I don't want anyone to take this the wrong way. I'm a Kevin Owens fan. I'm elated that he did well. I'm elated that he's, like they've strapped the proverbial rocket to him and he's going to be shot up like fast.
Yeah.
I'm happy for him, but I think there is a solid argument to make that this is what the win that Rusev needed. And I think that, I would even make that. I think that Rusev is a guy who, okay, let me backtrack a couple of words. I think that Kevin Owens is a guy who would eventually get over on his own merit regardless. I think he has enough of the quote-unquote it factor that everyone talks about that no one really can define. I think he has enough of that it factor to get over on his own merit despite not stellar booking. Even though he's had stellar booking, but I think he could prevail over not stellar booking and eventually become a huge star on his own.
Mm-hmm.
I think Rusev, they could have made Rusev a star. He has talent and potential, but he's a guy who needed the good booking to get to the stardom.
Right.
And so I think that if you have a choice that Owens could get there on his own, and then you could also make another star by giving Rusev the good booking. We always talk about how the reason it meant so much that Owens beat Cena is because not everyone beats Cena. So I think there's a good argument to be made that should have been Rusev's win, and then Owens could have made it his own way. I think that's a good... I know people aren't going to like that because people like Kevin Owens, and I do too. I know people are not going to like what I'm saying. People are going to like type in angry messages and stuff about how blah, blah, blah. But I'm saying, think about it. If Owens could have got there on his own eventually, why not let him get there on his own eventually and then still let Rusev get there with him and have 2 stars instead of 1? I know people are like, it's great. And I'm glad the guy's succeeding. Honestly, I am. But I think there is a really good argument to be made that should have went to Rusev. And I'm gonna be the jerk who's going to make that argument. So,
well, to further go into that, do you think that maybe the higher ups, so to speak, saw more potential in Owens than they did Rusev?
I don't think Vince knows what to make of Owens. Owens is a Triple H project through and through. Triple H signed him at NXT. He let him be a big deal in NXT. I think Rusev got hurt, and that's why they're giving him the spot. But I think before Rusev ever got a chance, maybe it's in hindsight, it's 2020. Now that Rusev's hurt, maybe it's good that he didn't get it. It's because it would be ultimately cooled off like right after the big win. But I mean, that's hindsight. I mean, like
that's also just poor timing for an injury.
Sure, yeah. No, I like Rusev a lot too. I think he could have been a big star. I think he can maybe still be, but I think it's a lot less definite now. Excuse me, sorry, but yeah, I don't think Vince looks at Kevin Owens and sees what guys like you and me look at Kevin Owens and sees. So I think it's highly debatable that I think it depends on who you're saying they are. Like if you're talking about Triple H, I mean, obviously Triple H is the guy who brought him in. So obviously Triple H sees something in him.
It's like I'm curious as to who made the decision for Elimination Chamber of saying Owens is going to go over. I mean, obviously the plan was to bring him in to be this new established heel. So like, did Triple H have to convince him saying, hey, you gotta trust me on this one? Or like,
I would love to see how Vince and Trips worked that out. And how did Triple H come to him and say,
I'm telling you, Vince, this is going to be your next big guy.
Yeah, I don't know. I would love to have been a fly on the wall and see how that was worked out because I have to believe that Vince does not see in Owens what we see in Owens. Sure. And
but he probably has faith in Triple H.
I don't even know if I don't even know if I'd go that far. I'm sure he has some faith because, I mean, he's family. He works there. He knows the system. But I don't even know if this is sort of an extreme case. I don't know, so.
Well, I mean, with the reports that Vince went down to NXT and saw what was being done and was blown away by it, maybe he's putting a little more trust in Triple H. So maybe
Vince has guys on his roster before Kevin Owens ever got there who don't look like a stereotypical WWE star who can wrestle as well as Owens, and it's all the same. I mean, there are guys who could have been Kevin Owens before Kevin Owens.
Right.
It's just now someone let Kevin Owens be a Kevin Owens. I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, maybe this is like, in hindsight, this is some like monumental change of the guard. We'll be able to like look back into retrospect and see like Triple H getting enough power to push guys through to the main roster. Yeah. But I don't know. It's weird. But
and they seem to be close because they're posting pictures all the time of Triple H and Kevin Owens together.
Well, NXT is Triple H's project, so he wants them to succeed. And I think there's a little bit of like Triple H wanting to be cool with the internet fans by like saying he likes like these internet dudes.
Well, look at these guys I brought in.
That too, and also, do you like Triple H on Facebook? The Paul Levesque Paul. Like I liked him on Facebook, and he's like always posting stuff. Like he's like stuff about NXT, taking pictures with them. There's sometimes he's in the gym.
It's hard for me to reconcile Triple H of the past. Sorry, guys, my throat is messed up. It's hard for me to reconcile Triple H of the past with Triple H, the guy who's running NXT, because you see these pictures of him at like monitors, like being like a proud father of like the women of NXT or something. And he looks so like emotionally invested in how well these people are doing. It's hard for me to juxtapose that with like so much of the Triple H who didn't want to put anybody over and like was really protective of his own spot. And so like, how do you? It's weird, right? I don't know.
The times have changed. Maybe.
I mean, it could be just another, like, maybe just NXT is his spot now, and so he's protecting it in a sense by making sure his guys get over. I mean, that could be a way to look at it. But
Raw guys can't get over my guys.
It's like, if you're in this picture with me, you're going to be going places. Sorry, Tyler Breeze, but sorry, Mojo Rawley, but You're just not going to have it. But
Mojo Rawley's not going to do it.
But you got to have more hype than that. So, but Kevin Owens does end up getting the victory. Really good stuff. So let's dive on into the next matchup. Neville versus Bo Dallas. Hard to follow the Owens and Cena matchup, but, I mean, this match...
Yeah, I was still on a high from that match, to be honest with you.
This was definitely a cool-down match. Not a whole lot of people had a lot invested in this matchup. So
I was actually, hey, can we go back to the other match?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to follow that style of match.
Mm-hmm.
When a guy like Pac they should have let Pac go all out, and they didn't. Like, they should have kept it shorter and let him go like a little bit more out, because there's no way the crowd was going to invest in that match after being asked to invest in the match prior. Mm-hmm. And so it's just an unfortunate set of circumstances. The match itself was fine. It just, if you're gonna follow a match like they had to follow, you have to do a little more than they did, and they restrained Neville too much for that. So
yeah, it seemed I don't know. The crowd wasn't interested. I wasn't really interested in the matchup. I wasn't really interested in the match to begin with, because Bo Dallas is not a very well established guy. They're trying to bring Neville up. He's being announced as the new sensation, but this matchup was kind of bland. Neville went through his spots just fine, but I don't know. Bo Dallas was not the person he should have gone up against during this pay-per-view. I would have much more preferred if Neville had been in the Intercontinental Chamber match as opposed to facing Bo Dallas. How about you guys?
I don't wish that matchup on anyone. I wouldn't wish
the chamber match.
I wouldn't wish that match upon my worst enemy, and I mean, and I mean like being in that awful match that happened. You want to talk about how awful it was?
Well, yeah, Neville ended up getting the victory over Bo Dallas, which takes us into what Doug is calling an awful match. It was a train wreck. I'll give you that. But
these guys could not get it together. a little something happened off schedule, and they were just like deer in headlights. They're like, "What do we do?"
Okay, well, we agreed that something was up. I think they played it off that it was something that was meant to be or whatever. But I think something was up with.
No, this is the Sheamus was a planned spot. He pulled his cross out. That was supposed to get him heat. Mark Henry was not supposed to be out that early. The pod was not supposed to break. Henry was the only one who could improvise. Thank God. Like the ref was like, "No, you got to stay in there." And Henry is smart enough to know that a big, massive hulk of a man like him is not going to stay in the pod and listen to the puny ref. When he says, "No, you don't come out of that pod yet." He's like, "Of course, Mark Henry's coming out of the pod." Everyone else, if you are that level of the industry, you should be able to improvise a little better than they did.
Yeah.
Because they circled around and communicated to the ref for like what felt like 5 consecutive minutes. Like Ziggler paragraphed out. He long form paragraphed the script out to the ref who had to circle it around to R-Truth, and then it was almost like R-Truth was like, "Wait, what did he say?" And then they had to do it again. They could not get it together. Mark Henry did the right thing. He should have came out when it was working. He would look like an idiot standing in there.
What they should have done is, for that kind of spot, whether it was intentional or not, for the glass to break, they should have just gone to a different pod.
Yes.
I think R-Truth was already out of his pod at that moment in time, so just go to that pod and do that particular spot.
Yeah.
So that way you don't have to worry about the risks.
Or if they shouldn't have done that where they threw him in there.
What threw them off, I think, is they had their match so mapped out that Henry wasn't supposed to be in there yet, so that threw off their whole.
He was
match,
probably supposed to come out after Sheamus,
right?
And so once Henry entered himself into the matchup, it threw everything off. They're like, okay, now we've got to beat each other up to stall until Sheamus does his spots,
right?
Which that took an extra 4 or 5 minutes.
Because they still stuck to his I'm stuck in the pod thing.
What can I do? And then they all beat each other up, and he's like, "Oh, now I fixed it. Oh, are you not entertained?" That line,
it wouldn't have bothered me. So that spot wouldn't have bothered me so much if they had not gone off the rails before we got there.
Yeah, that was 8 minutes of uncomfortable.
Right.
We don't know what's going on right now.
They didn't know what to do. They couldn't figure out what to do. Like, how do you get to that spot on the biggest like company in the industry and can't improvise better than that? I don't know.
See, all this stuff just threw me off because with that, I thought something was wrong with the Sheamus thing. Like he was actually
no. Henry was the legit mess up. The Sheamus was planned.
Yeah, it was planned. You know, we're sitting there going, "Oh my gosh! Like, what more can go wrong?" Until he reached down and pulled out, his necklace.
Right.
And then it was like, okay, that was at least planned.
Right.
But the 8-minute interval that happened between that was just terrible.
I stick to it. Mark Henry would look like an idiot if he didn't walk out of the pod. He did the right thing.
I know I can get out, but I'm just going to chill here for a while until my buzzer goes off.
What they should have done is just rigged the order and had the thing like shine on his pod and be like, oh, he's the next guy out. Like, that would have been like, I mean, I guess they still apparently wouldn't have been able to get it together, but man, like Ziggler had a almost full-blown conversation with the referee, and they were like trying to figure out what they're gonna do.
Yep. Even whenever he was like on the mat laying down, he's still trying to cover his mouth and talk to the ref. Hey, here's what's gonna happen next, and he's just like,
how could they not just like pair off and then be like, we'll just like brawl, like you two pair off, us two are gonna pair off, we're gonna brawl for a little bit until enough time comes for Sheamus to come out. I don't know.
It was just I don't know, poorly executed. I don't know. What did you think about the victor, Ryback, getting the win?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
I feel like he's had like a decent year, and I'm totally cool with like him having the belt. I thought they were gonna give it to Sheamus, but apparently he's gonna be in Money in the Bank and stuff. So I don't know. It's hard to have any strong feelings about anybody that won that match.
I'm curious as to what the discussion was when they all went backstage. Like, were some of the officials going off on these guys, or
I don't know.
Like, I'm curious.
Does Ziggler seem like the ring general of all the guys that are out there? You would think. I see. Like, Henry's the vet, right? You would think Henry would like rally the boys.
Henry's the vet, but again, he didn't come in until much later. So I think Dolph was one of the starting guys. It was him and Barrett, I believe. And
isn't it weird for like Barrett to get beat again? Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
That had to be improv. I don't think he was supposed to get beat there. Or at least,
well, I mean, he got pinned by Truth.
Yeah, see, Truth has not been doing anything of note with anybody. So it's weird that the king of the ring got pinned by Truth. You would think that Truth would be out first.
Well, Barrett has not had a string of good luck since winning the King
or
of
even
the Ring.
Before that.
Yeah, with his lovely run as Intercontinental Champion. Who could forget
Since
that?
being back from injury, he's done absolutely nothing.
Yeah, they gave him the bad news gimmick. It started to get over, so they took that away from him. Gave him the Intercontinental title. Lost every single match.
See, I wasn't high on the bad news stuff. I mean, I know some people liked it, so why not?
It was a catchphrase that got popular. That's about it.
Yeah, I just don't know.
It was more annoying when JBL would say it.
Bad news.
I didn't have any problems with Wade Barrett doing it. I was sick to death of JBL going, I just love it when he says, I've got some bad news.
Well, he's on the JBL and Cole show.
Yeah. So,
a lot.
But the Elimination Chamber, my goodness. Ryback ends up getting the victory. Daniel Bryan presenting the title to Ryback, showing class. And
do you mean the Ryback?
The Ryback, yes. Thank you. Thank you
for
that.
that. That was hilarious. I'm going to present the Ryback.
Yeah, it was good stuff. So that takes us into the main event of the evening: Dean Ambrose versus Seth Rollins. What an act to follow after that grueling Elimination Chamber match. I
would love to have to follow that, because how could you be worse than that?
Yeah, that's true. So Doug, we'll go to you first. What did you think about the matchup? We'll talk about the ending, I guess, as well. But
I thought the match was fine. It was not the best match these guys have had. In fact, I think the Raw match that Ambrose won was with the roll up was a lot better than this. But it was fine. I think what hurts it is the finish. I don't know that you can get away with like the dusty finish like in like 2015.
No.
I don't know that you can get away with that. I don't think people will let you. It's just a bad finish.
Like, how many times have the referees reversed the decision because another referee came out and finished the matchup here lately? It's just...
There's been a string of these special events that have had wonky endings. And, I don't know. It's weird.
Don't like it. Like I feel bad for the people who don't have the network because like high-speed internet isn't available where they live or something like that, to where they have to purchase these events. So they're paying $50 every 2 weeks now.
And being called stupid for it.
And being called stupid for it. And they're getting false finishes to just further storylines.
Look, I get that the network sort of changes the business in the sense that you're not driving to like I mean, I don't know. You have to find a way to deliver more satisfying conclusions to these angles. Mm-hmm. You have to find a way.
Yeah.
Like quit. I mean, it's just garbage, man. Come on and give some
back on the special pay-per-views. I still think if they did 8 a year, that would be plenty.
See, I think their head is right for right now. I think you could, once you get the audience you're looking for, you can scale back, but I think their head is in the right place. I think if you want people to buy this network, you have to make them feel like they have to have the network. Mm-hmm. Do you want to, if that means you have a special event every 3 weeks that you need to see, then they have a special event every 3 weeks that you need to see.
Yeah.
I think they're fine in having the number they are, but I think the quality and you just have to provide more satisfying conclusions to these angles than they are.
And one of the things that's driving me nuts is like I'm paying for the network, and yet they're offering month after month after month free for new subscribers with no cancellation, problems. You can cancel anytime you want. So you can sign up for the network, get the first month free, cancel it, and I'm assuming once the next month starts up, do it all over again.
I don't believe
maybe do like a different email address or something.
I mean, yeah, you can probably scam the system somehow, but you can scam any system somehow.
Yeah.
I mean, if you really wanted to, you could probably go on the internet and torrent the show. I mean, I'm not advocating for torrents or anything. I feel like,
but there are ways that people.
Yeah,
have found.
I mean, I think $10 is a fair price for what you're getting from the network.
Right.
I feel like it's worth it to have it,
and you're getting solid enough quality.
Sure, I mean,
my internet's kind of meh sometimes, so it'll freeze every now and then.
I like it because of the NXT.
Yeah, I have a lot less problem with like the price point and the fact it doesn't bother me that other people are getting it for free because unless you're out to scam the system, that only works for you one time and then you're just a customer.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
But
it's just they have to provide more satisfying conclusions to these things.
Yeah. So basically Ambrose gets the win. However, the referee reverses it.
I think the highlights of this match is when he made that weird face and then the internet blew up with memes.
For Rollins.
Oh,
his
my
cross-eyed
gosh.
face.
Yeah.
That's been blowing up.
And then just the whole thing about, with the referees and people like, oh yeah, he deserves the belt, but oh no, he didn't. He won the match, but he, way of disqualification and all that stuff. So, but he's still gonna take the belt because he deserves it. I don't know.
Did you guys feel like they were setting up? Man, I'm sorry, my throat is real scratchy today. I'm sorry. My throat. Did you guys feel like at any point they were like setting up Roman for a heel turn, like the way they set up the night? Where they're like, "Hey, you better not get involved in that main event tonight." And he's like, "Hey, man, I just bought the beer. What up?"
I feel like they might even be building towards it coming down the line because this week on Raw they put him in 3 matches. Ambrose was nowhere to be found until the very end.
Right.
So it's like, dude, I was just in 3 matches with my Money in the Bank status on the line. Where were you? You weren't in my corner.
Right.
So, it could lead to something like that, but we'll have to see. But Ambrose does end up getting the victory via disqualification. Rollins keeps the belt.
Ambrose kept the belt.
He's still champion. He doesn't have the belt. How
the
about
champion buys the beer.
That's right. So,
they already got the beer.
So that pretty much concludes Elimination Chamber.
He was just going to give Roman a refund, or maybe he's going to pay him back. I don't know.
Yeah, that's right. Because the champ buys the beer. So good stuff. Let's dive on into Raw now. The Raw after Elimination Chamber. We kick things off with a typical Authority Roman Reigns promo, or I say a typical Roman Reigns, but typical Authority promo featuring Roman Reigns this time around. Seth Rollins is fuming over the events that happened at Elimination Chamber. wanting to talk, and Triple H and Steph not wanting to let him because they know he's a hothead right now. Roman Reigns sort of taunting them, saying, well, hey, if you want the title back, you got to agree to another matchup against Dean Ambrose. And Seth Rollins accepts and calls Kane a 7-foot tall piece of crap. Is that what he called him? Or turd or something along that?
I don't know, man. I watched Raw like peripherally while I was trying to get all this other shit done. So I can't really speak to too much of anything, to be honest with you.
So, yeah, I mean, but it was.
I stopped and paid attention to the Owens stuff, and then like I stopped what I was doing to hear that like completely, and then the rest of it was just kind of like, oh, that's
glancing
going on.
at, yeah. So, it was a typical, 15-minute time killer, which leads into the first match. Roman Reigns going up against King Barrett. I didn't have any issues with this matchup. It just continues the losing streak for King Barrett, Wade Barrett, Bad News Barrett, whatever you want to call him.
B&B.
Yeah, B&B, whatever. King of the losses, I guess. But, I don't know. Nothing wrong with the matchup. It was fine.
Leader of the Nexus.
Yeah, former leader of the Nexus, the Winds of Change, all that good stuff.
Winds of Change.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho's Jabroni.
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Genesis of McGillicuddy.
Yes. So,
Nexus of the Genesis of McGillicuddy.
This episode of Raw was very Roman heavy because they were trying to, I guess, punish him for Dean Ambrose not being at Raw. So they're saying, okay, well, you're going to have to face King Barrett, and if you lose, you're out of Money in the Bank. And so he ends up being victorious and goes backstage, and Authority congratulated him on the win. They said, well,
psych.
Yeah, psych, you're not done
gonna
yet.
get the ass kicked.
Somebody going to get their wig split. And
Eat him up.
Break his neck. Break his neck. So, so basically he tells, the Authority tell Roman that he's got another matchup scheduled for that night. So
against Mark Henry. We didn't just sing it. Henry's
it was
theme
against
song
Mark Henry.
For no reason.
Yeah, for those listening to past
Crazy
episodes of the show.
motherfucker, and I'm coming through the door.
We really like that theme song, but we didn't just sing it for no reason. So.
Somebody going to get their ass kicked. So, so after that, we got to see Ryback come out and cut a nice little promo saying, I know you guys don't want a crybaby Ryback or anything like that, but I just want to tell you, how humbling it is to be the Intercontinental Champion, and how I'm going to try and do you guys proud. And, just like, Daniel Bryan would want, feed me more opponents. And so
feed me s'mores.
He decides to defend he didn't decide to. He was told that he was going to have to defend the Intercontinental Championship, and it was against The Miz, of all people, who, for some reason, automatically just gets a title shot for whatever reason.
Well, because he has that really cool robe now. Well,
and he's back.
Well, he modified his robe to be even cooler now.
Yeah,
sure, that. So match doesn't even get started.
This needs to be in the limelight, okay?
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he's already a Hollywood star. How much more limelight does he need?
Well, he pretends a lot.
So much more.
So much more than he gets. So the match doesn't get started, and it's interrupted by the Big Show, who comes out, KOs The Miz, and says, you think you're the big guy? Well, you've got nothing on the Big Show. And that's pretty much it. And Ryback starts chanting, feed me more. Woo!
Well, you're doing the suck it sign. So.
No, I was doing this.
feed me more?
More. Yeah. So, whatever. After that, we got to see Kevin Owens come out, and that was the end of the first hour, amazingly enough. Kevin Owens comes out to talk about the match, talks about how he said he was going to do something, and he delivered. That's what he's about. He's about delivering. My kid is a John Cena fan. I don't blame him because he's a kid, and the WWE has built him up to be a real-life superhero. I thought the mic work was really solid from Kevin Owens. How about you, Doug?
I liked it a lot. I like when Owens came in, it was just about him making a name for himself off of Cena.
Mm-hmm.
But if they're going to continue, he already did that. He accomplished that. So if they're going to continue the feud, it has to become personal.
Yeah.
I thought this is a really good reasoning for why it would become personal. I thought it was a good twist for
why he would want to fight Cena again.
Why?
Instead of just saying, no, I beat you. I'm done.
Right. So I like the idea of working his kid into it, and the fact that
he's a kid.
Right. Yeah. I think it's good. I like that a lot. I like the logic of it. So.
Mm-hmm. And that brought out John Cena to talk about the reasons why he does what he does and what he stands for. And again, more amazing mic work. So these two are having amazing chemistry together. Their match at Elimination Chamber was awesome. Their promos are doing great.
Do you know the kid that he pointed out, the kid that had the sign that says "I'm beating cancer"?
Mm-hmm.
Like after Raw, like they brought him in the ring so they crock it, whatever. You know, I looked at that video. And do you know that there was like hundreds of people who are like thumbs downing that video? Like, what kind of sick fuck like downvotes a video like that?
Just someone who hates John Cena no matter what.
Check your fucking life if you're downvoting like cancer kids, you fucking assholes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So
I don't know why that rubbed me the wrong way. I just did. I don't know.
maybe it was like the kids in attendance who didn't get to meet John Cena,
That's
so they were like, because I did see a kid holding a John Cena #1 fan sign, and he just
what I'm
walked
gonna
past
do
him
since
as
they
he was
didn't allow
letting
me
the
to
kid
go
out.
in the ring? I'm going on YouTube and disliking that video.
It's like, I hate John Cena so much, and I hate what he does for the kids, and I hate that he does all this charity work. I'm giving this a thumbs down on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean,
That'll show him. Yeah.
America.
No, not even that. It could be anyone from anywhere.
I mean, examine your life if you feel the need to downvote the cancer kid. Come on.
Yeah. He made that kid's day. He made that kid's month. He made that kid's year. He probably even made that kid's life. He's going to remember that.
Fucking hope so, man.
So
Fucking hope so. That kid's going through hell. I mean, whatever.
I hope he keeps on fighting, and the next time that they roll into San Antonio, he'll be there saying, I beat cancer, not I'm beating cancer. So
I gave the cancer an attitude adjustment.
that's right. So, so I mean, really great mic work from Kevin Owens and John Cena. They're going to sell this matchup, and they're going to deliver once again, so it's going to be really cool stuff. After that, we got to see Dolph Ziggler going up against Kofi Kingston. Lana escorted Ziggler out. The New Day, of course, was with Kofi Kingston. Ziggler ended up getting the victory. However, the New Day decided to attack. Yeah.
Why did they attack?
Because Kofi lost.
I was going to go because they
sucks? Oh.
I was going to say
Oh. I'm sorry.
I like them.
Well, in this case, they suck because they're attacking, it's a 3-on-1. They're attacking somebody. That's not good. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, but I'm doing what they do.
Yeah.
Come on.
So
Day rocks my socks off.
yeah. So the New Day does attack, but the primetime players come out and make the save. And whenever we come back from commercial, we've got a tag match, playa. 6-man tag match. Dolph Ziggler and primetime players going up against the New Day. Ziggler and primetime players end up getting the victory. So this is going to further their feud for, I guess, Money in the Bank. Maybe we'll see the New Day going up against primetime players, and then Kofi Kingston will be in the ladder match.
Making moves.
Making $1 million moves. So, good stuff. So, after that, we got to see the second matchup from Roman Reigns. He defeated Mark Henry via countout, which I thought was a good move because you don't want to have, a guy who's already worn out from one match, decidedly beat the world's strongest man. So, he found another way to get the victory. And
also, he just came back at the Chamber that he didn't win, and now this is like his first match back.
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's like, what are they going to do with Mark Henry?
I mean, I think I've accepted that he's just in the phase of his career where he's enhancing other dudes. I mean, he did get that one awesome run. The Hall of Pain run was fucking awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best thing they did all year that year.
Is that the one where he was psyching people out with Cena or whatever, and he had the?
That was even prior to that.
It was after that.
Well, his run.
The Hall of Pain, yes.
Yeah, the Hall of Pain. His world heavyweight title run was the Hall of Pain run.
Yeah.
And that
2011, I believe.
What you're talking about happened after that run.
Mm-hmm. So
that was cool too.
Yeah, at least he got that cool moment. But yeah, Roman Reigns ends up getting the victory. Goes backstage, getting worn out. Authority come out and say, "Hey man, congratulations, but don't take that vest off yet. We've got one more match for you lined up. So make sure you follow the buzzards." So
I don't know. This is me running after the buzzards.
It's like a cha-cha slide or something. I don't know. But yeah. After that, we got to see a Divas Championship match between Paige, the villain, I'm guessing in this situation, going up against Nikki, the good fighting champion.
Holy fuck! Are they getting Nikki to break AJ's record or what? Because they started mentioning how long she's been the champ. She is totally surpassing that record.
Yeah, and I hope not. But good lord, it seems like they're trying to do it. And the match.
What do you mean you hope not?
Let's
examine that. Let's unpack that.
I'm not a fan of Nikki. I'm not a fan of
you think
her
there's
run.
You think there's a better option on the roster? Because I don't. I think she's been better than Paige.
I think it's time to bring someone up from NXT.
Well, sure, but I mean,
and dethrone her.
Withstanding the NXT girls, I mean, Nikki's been the most consistent diva on the roster, and a lot of that is opportunity.
Yeah,
but
I mean, she's probably the most improved. But
she throws a fucking better elbow than Wade Barrett, I'll tell you that much.
But it's, I don't know, it's her promos and the fact that the face champion cheated by using the twin magic to get the win.
Yeah, but that's shitty, like, match layout, that's shitty booking, that's a shitty finish.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean she's not the best option. NXT divas, but NXT women withstanding.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, she was a face like 10 minutes ago, and now she's her body language, the way that they won the match, that's all that of a heel. So it's like, can you make up your freaking mind about what you're trying to do?
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you as far as that goes. I just feel like of the divas on the roster right now, she's been the best and most consistent.
Yeah. So I don't know. Will they break the record? Maybe. We'll have to see.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm fucking calling it now. There's no way she's not dropping that title until AJ's fucking numbers in the dust.
AJ comes back for one match and dethrones her the day before she breaks the record.
Nope.
That's what's gonna happen.
Nikki's gonna be the longest reigning diva.
No.
Well, do you know what AJ's number is off the top of your head?
I do not.
You know ballpark what it is?
I do not.
Yeah. I wonder how close we are.
I don't know. We'll have to
184.
Have to see if we can find that or not. So
stall.
Yeah.
Tyler and I are stalling. Tyler's not doing shit.
Yeah.
He didn't catch Raw this week.
No, but I mean, like, I'm saying stall. Tyler and I are starring. I look at Tyler and he's just like staring at the floor. That's why I said he's not doing shit.
Yeah.
Stalling.
295 days.
Okay, I think we got like 100-something days plus to go.
I think she's like right at 200, somewhere around.
Okay.
Or getting close to it. So
I bet you could wiki that real quick and find out what she's at.
Yeah. But well, I mean, they just announced she was like at 198 or something like that.
All right.
But yeah, after that we got to see Randy Orton going up against Sheamus, and this match to me personally was completely boring. The crowd wasn't into it. They didn't seem into it. I don't know what it is about Sheamus versus Randy Orton that just it sucks the energy out of the room.
Because they both work like their niche of the WWE main event style. And it's just without something else to bounce off of that, it like
they just don't have good chemistry together.
I don't know if I'd say yeah, you might be right. I don't know if I'm willing to say it's chemistry. It may just be like not a good style like mesh. You know what I mean?
I mean, like as soon as the bell rings, it seems like the crowd just like
they can have a competent match together. It's just not very interesting.
Yeah, I mean the crowd wakes up whenever Orton does his signatures and stuff like that because he's over with the crowd. But their matches are boring. I'm sorry, it's just I'm not digging it. But Sheamus ended up hitting Orton with a chair, causing disqualification. Yeah, I blame them both.
I like Sheamus.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
After that, we got to see a promo from Rusev where he was interviewed by Byron Saxton.
I like Sheamus as much as a girl does. Oh, well, not in that way, but I like him as much. What about Byron Saxton?
He was interviewing Rusev. Did you happen to see that?
Yeah, this was totally weird. Like it seemed like Rusev was trying to do like the acting job of his career. He was trying to look super depressed. He did look super depressed. He was like, I've lost everything.
I've lost my title. I've lost my woman. And I hurt my ankle. I am a broken man with a broken ankle and a broken spirit. And I don't know what to do.
but I will get them all back.
Yeah, it was sort of weird, wasn't it?
It was very weird. It was interesting. So, yeah.
Do we know how long he's out? Projected?
Ooh, with a I believe the injury was a fractured ankle.
It was a fractured heart because Lana broke it.
Yeah, that could be up to 6 weeks, I would think. So,
fractured heart only goes, you're allowed months to years you dated. So, like, if he dated her for 2 years, he gets 2 months of a fractured heart.
mm-hmm.
That's the formula.
Yeah.
He's allowed that.
Oh, so
I can see that.
Do you agree on this? When he comes back, he should wear boots.
Look, you know my thing about feet. I don't want to see nobody's fucking feet ever. So
Well, you've been seeing Rusev's feet for a long time.
Yeah, but at least he put some tape on those
He needs
motherfuckers.
to put boots on so if he lands.
Look, I'm
Boots that are
not.
made for walking?
Look, I ain't fucking
Yeah.
walking outside barefoot to like check the mail. So you're talking to the wrong dude. I fucking wear like socks in my
Hey,
house.
check my feet out. I don't take my shoes off.
If you, I'm gonna punch you.
Punchies.
So, yeah, so we'll have to see how Rusev can recover and if he decides that he wants to wear boots from going forward. After that, we got to see
You should tweet him about it, Tyler.
Yeah, definitely you should.
Yeah, I'm going to take my shirt off.
Sure. And tweet Rusev. So, after that, we got to see a rematch between Neville and Bo Dallas. I'm sure it's the rematch everyone wanted to see.
Yeah.
Neville once again gets the victory. Nothing really to take away
He's
from
your
it.
new champion.
So after that, it was the main event. Roman Reigns going up against Bray Wyatt, and the Authority were standing on the, what is it? Near the entrance. The ramp. Yeah.
Right.
So, or the stage, however you want to say it, whatever you want to call it. So Roman Reigns ends up defeating Bray Wyatt, which I don't know how I feel about that, because here you've got Roman Reigns in his third match of the night going up against a 100% Bray Wyatt. And I know I did the Twitter for WNS on Monday, and I got a lot of slack for saying that, because people were saying, "Oh, you're just biased against Roman Reigns." It was like, it has nothing to do with Roman Reigns. It was the fact that a 100% Bray Wyatt lost to someone who had already competed in 2 other matches. That's what my gripe was.
Well, I think that the storyline that they set up, he either has to triumph or you have to fuck him over, because you don't set him up to lose.
Yeah.
So maybe they should have just schmozzed it a lot more.
Had the match end in disqualification or
Schmeckle.
something like that. But I mean, if you're building Bray Wyatt as the new face of fear, you don't have him lose to a guy who's already wrestled twice that night.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I'm not saying it's great storytelling. I'm just saying. Well, I don't know what I'm saying.
He doesn't.
I'm saying it's not great storytelling.
Yeah.
But it's sort of, they either have to do a no finish again, or you have to just let him triumph anyway. It's just stupid booking in the sense that you're booking 2 guys who shouldn't be losing against each other.
Yeah. So, anyways, Roman Reigns ends up getting the victory, and Dean Ambrose finally shows up, fending off the Authority and helping Roman Reigns towards the end. And they end up leaving through the crowd. So that was pretty much it.
Gonna make it wane.
Yeah, make it wane. So, yeah, that was pretty much Raw. Did you guys get to watch Ring of Honor?
I did not.
I didn't watch. Well, I tried. I fell asleep watching Ring of Honor, and that's not a statement on the product. That's a statement of I was super fucking tired because I've been working 60-hour weeks. So
Also, Doug wrestles on the side.
I saw like maybe 5 minutes of Silas Young versus Watanabe, and they played off of the night 1 of the War of the Worlds where Silas and Watanabe teamed versus Gato and Moose, and they did the handshake at the end after, or Watanabe tried to shake his hand at the end after they lost, and then Silas gave him the clothesline, and they sort of played that up here. But I fell asleep, and again, that is not indicative of the product. That is just me being super fucking tired.
Mm-hmm.
So the long drawn answer is no, I didn't really see it.
Okay. Well, let's dive on into Lucha Underground. We're not going to talk about NXT because we kind of covered most of that last week since we recorded on Wednesday. So yeah, let's dive into Lucha Underground. The first matchup we got to see Johnny Mundo going up against Aerostar. So Tyler, did you get to catch this matchup?
Yeah, Johnny Mundo was very aggressive. I know they're playing up on the I guess
the heel turn.
Rudo's son.
Yeah. Okay. I get used to saying that. With the whole which is it's a weird dynamic thing, to be honest with you, with him and El Patron, because El Patron would be like mean and stuff towards him and just very smart ass and just say stuff to him, and just Johnny Mundo was fed up with it, so then he attacked him. So I don't know if they're both Rudo or Technico. I don't know what they are, but we'll see exactly how it plays out. But Johnny Mundo was very aggressive in this match and was beating the heck out of Aerostar.
Yeah.
Aerostar got some things in, but it's just pretty much Johnny Mundo's match.
Yeah. How about you, Doug?
I didn't see it.
Oh, okay.
Also, I don't know if it was before or after. It's every time I forget the other clips and stuff. So there was one of whoever that girl's name is who escaped that dojo or whatever.
Black Lotus.
Yeah, Chavo met her at the front of the temple. It was like, hey, I hate the Cuetos too. And it's like, let me help you. The Guerreros hate them too, and so that was pretty much it.
Yeah.
And then there was later on. There was an interview with Vampiro and Sexy Star. Not too much of it or whatever. It's just it's gonna be a match later on with Sexy Star and Pentagon Jr.
Oh, hey, let me say this before I forget. But I mean, it has to do with Lucha Underground, but it's not the show because I didn't see it. Court Bauer of MLW Radio said something on this past week's show where he said that Lucha Underground might be in a position to make a big announcement soon. And so speculation is sort of out there as to what that might be. And we all know they haven't officially announced the second season. So we don't know if that's as simple as a second season. We don't know if that's something even bigger and crazy or like a tour or whatever. But we all know his co-host is Conan. Conan works for Lucha Underground and AAA, obviously. I think he has some sort of hand in creative even. So that's probably a very good source if you're a co-host with someone involved in the process. So
I know it sounds bad or whatever, but I kind of don't. I mean, I would love to see them, but I kind of like them to stay where they are because it goes with I think we talked about this last week.
As far as touring,
yeah, just stay with the because the temple itself and
sort of a character.
Yeah, but I mean, if it does,
they got to find a way to monetize. Bottom line.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sell them shirts.
Oh, also, I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention to the last few episodes, but this episode, and when I was watching on demand, they had some commercials. They did show a commercial for their merchandise. Have y'all seen it before?
Well, see, I don't get the station. I watch it online, so I didn't see that until I believe when I was at your house last week. We watched it. I was like, "Oh, have they been showing these commercials every time?"
Yeah, they show it every once in a while. I don't want to say it's every week. I'm sure it's every week, but I tend to fast forward through the commercials now.
Right.
But yeah. So I'm sure we'll post the link for the Lucha Underground fans so that they can go and get their merch on there.
Well, if you're watching it, it's on the commercial or whatever.
Yeah. So, but if you don't happen to catch it in time, you can post it on there. But the next matchup we got to see, championship match. Hernandez going up against Prince Puma. So, Tyler, what did you think about this matchup?
Oh, I enjoyed it. Hernandez was dominant for a while and stuff. I liked one of the parts. I liked where Puma was taunting Hernandez and was doing the walk and stuff. Yeah, there you go. What's so funny is Vampiro plays the heel commentator at times. He was like on Hernandez's side, and he was like, "Get Conan! Conan,
I can't stand Conan."
I'm like, Conan's just helping Puma.
Well, him and Conan don't like each other, so he's like biased there. See, I think that is a clear character definition of Vampiro. Is if it comes to Conan or someone involved with Conan, Vampiro talks shit. But he also is just sort of back and forth, like between who he likes and who he doesn't. Sometimes in the same match. But the Conan stuff is like by the books. Like he doesn't like Conan or people involved with Conan.
It was an entertaining match, and Puma won, and that's good. And your
Prince Puma gets the victory.
Head for the next person who's going to challenge him.
1, 2, 3, victory.
Anything,
Prince Puma,
to say about
it's so hard to remembering what happened a week ago, But it was a fun match. It was a good match. They put on a good show. But the match that everyone is probably going to be talking about is the main event.
I heard this show was nuts.
Versus Phoenix. Oh my God! Like crazy stuff.
Better than the casket match.
I don't know. It was up there with it. But
yeah, it's definitely up there. I wouldn't say yes wholeheartedly, but there was some really good spots.
Did Martez just beat his fucking ass like he did in the casket match? Pretty much. Phoenix got some cool spots in or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. And
they okay, so let me ask you a question. Did they go if I remember correct, was that Dario Cueto's office they went through?
No.
It wasn't.
Muertes picked up Phoenix over his shoulders, went up the steps like where they come out normally, went over there, and there's like I guess a storage closet or something that's right there, and just threw him through it, like straight through the ceiling, and crashed below, and fans were going nuts.
That top thing where what's his name did that crossbody off of.
No, that's on the other side.
Oh, it's on the other side.
Yeah, this one was on the left side.
The Phoenix
of the hard camera.
Phoenix bleed again because he bled fucking buckets in that fucking casket match.
Nah, he didn't on this one.
He just like slammed. I mean, it was.
But Mil Muertes, whenever he came out, he also had 3 guys coming out with like a skull mask on their heads. So everyone was like, "Who are these guys? What are they all about?"
Like a beam of light or whatever that hit his face, but looked like his blue little contacts eyes were glowing at one point. Or whatever. I think it's just a beam of light that just hit his
special
face.
Effects later on in post. So, but yeah, it was pretty nuts. Mil Muertes ended up getting the victory, and who's the lady who's with him?
Katrina.
Oh, Katrina. Yeah.
She gave Phoenix the lick of death.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
Yeah, she was all like,
did they play up further storyline as to why she's going back and forth between these dudes?
No,
not that I can remember, but yeah, Muertes.
Because she did that to him. Like, didn't she also give Muertes the lick of death whenever Phoenix beat him in the casket match?
I thought she liked him.
I might be wrong about that. It's been a while.
Who knows?
And the last thing for the episode to go, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So the crew is with Dario Cueto, and they're in front of the cage with the brother or whatever.
Right. Oh, they show the brother?
No.
No.
Okay.
But they were like, okay, since y'all didn't complete this, one of y'all has to.
One of you has to pay.
One of you has to pay. So they have all 3 of them. I don't know which one's what. I forgot their names. They turn to the middle guy. They get him. They put him by the bars, and they're just slamming his head into the bars, and you see blood come out everywhere and stuff.
No, it wasn't from them slamming. Like they
I thought they kept on slamming. That's why blood.
No, they grab him and bring him up to the cage, and he's there, and all of a sudden you see him like jerk forward, and he's like like
blood's
that,
everywhere.
And the guys aren't looking, but like blood's going all over their face, and I mean it's not like a little spurt, it's like
like a Tarantino or like a Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah.
So I forgot that guy, but
so he's dead apparently.
I don't know why I went to Tarantino instead of Robert Rodriguez on his own fucking channel though.
They work together.
So that character is not coming back.
Even Cuerto had a little blood on him. He's like, ugh, okay, well, I'm out of here. So
that was it.
So I guess they killed him.
Yeah.
On a wrestling show. Someone died.
It's like, yeah.
He has been sacrificed to the brother.
I wonder how they're gonna play off this brother thing because if he doesn't look really fucking scary, it's gonna come off bad. Like
it's gonna be Rey Mysterio all along. I have the bite of Chihuahua, but the heart of a champion. So
Rey Mysterio.
It's gonna be
just 6 arms.
It's just gonna be some scrawny dude. Hey guys, my name's Steve.
Steve.
It's Marty the Moth.
Yeah, Marty. So
I was in a cocoon. Now I'm a mega moth.
cocoon. So good stuff. So that's any other wrestling that y'all wanted to discuss?
Kicker.
I know Evolve had again. I didn't see basically anything. I know Evolve had shows over the weekend, but I didn't see them yet.
Yeah, I know. Global Force is getting ready for their tours, or their tour is underway. So go to their website for all the details on that. See if they're coming to your area. We are going to be promoting some local charity events that's going to be going on here in the next few months. So definitely stick around for that if you happen to be in the Houston area. If you're listening to the show, there's going to be something for you to go to at least. But now it's time to go into the Q&A portion of the show. Your questions, our answers. First question comes to us from Paul saying, "Hey guys, great show. Do you think Ring of Honor and TNA will do crossover shows? And also, have you seen any Scottish wrestling?"
Never say never, I guess, but I don't think they will. They did in the past, but I don't know if they'll do it now.
Yeah.
I think that Ring of Honor is very cautious about associating with TNA.
Yeah.
And the only way they're getting involved with TNA in any way, shape, or form is if Destination America tells them to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you noticed all the TNA guys promoting Ring of Honor coming, you didn't see Ring of Honor saying shit about TNA.
Yeah. Just that they were going to Destination America.
Right. Which is a big fucking difference. So, and even I think like Joe Koff was in interviews saying he didn't say anything about them until he was asked specifically about them, and he said he couldn't think of a better neighbor. He didn't call them he didn't call them partners. He didn't call them associates. He said neighbor, as in we happen to be right next to these dudes.
Yeah.
And ladies.
Well, I don't talk to them. I let them do their thing.
He didn't say good neighbors. He didn't say friendly neighbors. He just said like
I see them in the yard, watering the yard.
I wave to them whenever I drive in.
Yeah, you
know. There is a stink and a taint on TNA, and I think they are very cautious of being any more involved than they have to.
Those motherfuckers, their dog better not shit in my yard. That's all I gotta say.
So unless Destination America says, "Hey, you guys have to fucking work with these guys," then I'd say I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
If they have any say in it.
Have you seen any Scottish wrestling?
No, I haven't.
I haven't either. Give us a promotion. Maybe if they have some YouTube content, that way we can check it out as well.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can't say that I haven't seen any Scottish wrestling.
Okay. So thanks for the questions, Paul. Final questions coming to us from Junior saying, "Hey guys, love the show. What are your thoughts on Seth Rollins' run as a champion so far?" He also has another question, but we'll dive into this one first.
A little underwhelming, just in the fact of more so in how he's booked, not because he's been particularly bad, just because he has not been put in a position to do anything really interesting. He hasn't been put in many positions to have many great matches, although I feel like he does fine whenever he's, has a game opponent or whatever. But storyline wise, he's just, he's really just like
afterthought.
He's just like the Authorities guy. Like he's in that role, and that's not a role that you can do a ton with,
Mm-hmm.
So underwhelming, but I don't 100% hold him at fault for it. So I guess underwhelming a little bit.
Okay. How about you, Tyler? What do you think of Seth Rollins' run as champion so far?
I mean, I like certain things. I like as a champion, I was about to say I did like some of the top matches he was in, with the Brock Lesnar, John Cena thing, but that he wasn't champ then, I don't think.
Yeah, those were fucking awesome, but he was sort of he wasn't. That's how he won.
But right now, I don't know. I mean,
could be better.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's hard to tell if it's specific. I do think his spot and his angle is sort of lame. Not lame, but it's sort of boring. But it's hard to differentiate. Is it just the show that's sort of boring right now, or is it, them specifically that's boring?
I would like to see Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, maybe we'll get to see that here coming up soon. But the final question from Junior saying, "Do you guys think that Samoa Joe will compete on the main roster, or do you think he will remain exclusive to NXT?"
I think he's going to be on the main roster sooner or later.
I agree with that.
Yep.
Tyler? Yeah. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this week. Thank you for listening. Make sure to submit your questions on our YouTube page, WNSvideo, our Facebook page, WNS Podcast. Check us out on WrestlingNewsSource.com and WrestlingNewsSource.com on Facebook. And subscribe to us on iTunes by searching Wrestling News Source Podcast.
Also on Codcast. You can follow us on Stitcher, Beyond Pod, and Player.fm. Just search Wrestling News Source Podcast to find us.
Yeah, remember, no show next week, and I will catch you guys way, way, way on the flip side. And podcast is on Twitter at WNS Podcast. Daniel's at WNS_Daniel. Tyler is at Tyler_Aber.
There you go. Good stuff for all the fun. Make sure to hit up our Facebook page. Check all that stuff out. Good stuff. For the podcast crew, I am Daniel Heron.
Yo, I'm that bear, a bear.
Oh, boy, I'm embarrassed to follow that guy. I'm Doug.
And we will catch you all 2 weeks from now.